YouTube? Crash Wilcox, and today I'm gonna just got a simple comparison video for you guys. So I have two graphics cards in front of me. They are both from separate builds that I've made, so I thought, you know, why don't we just kind of throw them in the same system and see who comes out on top. So on the left side here, we have the MSI RX 5700 XT Gaming X, a wonderful graphics card. And on this side over here, we got the Zotac 1080 Ti Mini. And the reason that I wanted to do this is kind of figure out what's a better option in the realm of around a $400 graphics card for 1440p gaming, because 1440p is kind of the sweet spot for gaming, and I think $400 is around a reasonable price for most people, you know, stretching the budget a little bit there. But you know, if you've watched any of my other videos, I'm a big fan of budget gaming. I don't think that you need to go crazy and spend $3,000 or whatever to get a really high quality experience with your computer. I'll link to the video where I use this graphics card in my Ryzen 9 3900X $1,500 bill. I'll have it up here, and then I'll have it in the description down below. And then I'll also link to this where I use this in my Fractal Design Node 202 kind of go anywhere, do anything PC, and I'll link that up here as well and in the description. Both computers were at about different price points, a couple $100s apart. But yeah, I'm a fan of budget gaming. I don't know how else to say it. I don't think you gotta go for the newest, latest thing to get the most out of your gaming experience. So that's what I'm going to try to show here today. So we're just going to run through some benchmarks, kind of a few synthetic benchmarks, and then just some gameplay, different things like that. It's not going to be anything terribly standardized. It's just going to be me kind of doing what I want, kind of running through some games. MSI Afterburner running on some of them, built-in benchmarks on some of the other ones. And then at the end, I'll go through some closing comments on the cards and what I think of them, where I think your money would be best spent. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Before we jump into the benchmarks, please take a second to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. It does me a lot of good. And there'll be a link to the Patreon page down below. If you find it in your heart to throw a few bucks my way, I'd really appreciate it. But with that, let's get to these benchmarks. Sorry, and one last thing I wanted to mention is both of these were going to be run off of my $1,500 Ryzen 9 system. So that's got a Ryzen 9 3900X running just Precision Boost Overdrive on, and X570 motherboard, ASRock Steel Legend, and I think that's really about the only important things there. So yeah, just want to get that out there. All right, to those benchmarks. man, so that's a wrap. So with all those tests being concluded, I think some of the takeaways that I had from it, they're both wonderful cards, both very worthy of being selected. The one thing I would note is I know just recently AMD pushed out a patch or an update to their drivers. They supposedly fixed 40-some issues or whatever that people were having with their cards. For one, I've never had an issue with my card, nothing that I've ever experienced in a negative way. I've read all about the issues people were having, and it kind of scared some people away. And I understand that if you're spending $400 on a graphics card, you want to know that it's going to work and you're not going to have to fight your way through driver issues and all these different sorts of things. So from my personal experience, never had an issue. Wonderful card. It runs cool. It runs quiet. Handles anything I throw at it. It's a beast. But if those driver issues are a concern of yours, it's understandable. But my big takeaway is I was blown away. I don't know why. I was blown away by the 1080 Ti. It's still a beast. I know the 2070s and the 2080s and all these things are out now, but the 1080 Ti, as you saw, it still holds its own. It's still a great card. Now, you wouldn't go buy this thing new. Obviously, people want $1,200 or whatever for a new one. And most people are pretty unreasonable, even in the used market with their 1080s or the 1080 Ti's. A lot of people are trying to get over $500, which again, I think, not terrible. I mean, I think it would perform well, in comparison to maybe a 2070 Super. But I think that's unreasonable. I paid $400 for this card, did a little negotiating and got it down to that price, which I think that's where you should be looking to try to fight that price down to. But blown away by this card. So if the driver issue makes you nervous on the AMD side of the house, you don't really have any of that in the Nvidia side of the house. They work wonderfully. Nvidia, they've done a great job, and obviously the 1080 Ti has been around for a while, so that would be the other consideration. This is still a fairly new card. It's going to improve over time. Drivers are going to continue to be updated. The 1080 Ti is sort of nearing the end of its life cycle. Again, it's still a great card. I'm going to link a description a link to a video in the description. Somebody that was kind of breaking down the history of graphics cards, and he goes into a pretty in-depth discussion about the 1080 Ti and kind of how it almost like broke the graphics card industry when it came out, because it was so much better than its predecessors. It was almost unparalleled. So I think because of that, it still holds its own today. So both great cards. I don't think I can pick one way or the other. I guess if somebody was strong-arming me, maybe just for nostalgia's sake and to have sort of a piece of history, I would probably go find yourself a used 1080 Ti. The thing is a beast. It does run, I believe, ray tracing through like DXR on the DirectX 12 games. You can do that. But I think they're both good cards. I'm a little partial towards the nostalgia. The 1080 Ti is kind of a collector's item as well, I think, in addition to just being a great card. But you can't go wrong. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And again, please like, subscribe, go to Patreon, do all the things. I would really appreciate it. All right, God bless.